All right, and welcome everybody to Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Welcome to the show today, folks. We're just kind of moving things around a little bit, and I just want to thank you all for being here. Sorry for the microphone that I'm moving around all the place, but I just want to thank you all for being a part of the show today. Today on the show, we've got some interesting things. It's a Monday, and on Mondays, we try to mix it up just a little bit. I know that something happened over the weekend which drove me crazy. That here, hang on, I'm sorry, my music is just driving me crazy. So over the weekend, I was watching a little bit of football over the weekend, and so I turned on and I said, you know what, should I watch the football game or should I watch the rest of the Dodgers playing this weekend? And I've got a book I'm writing, I've got videos I'm doing. I found a really neat new app that I was working on, and I said, you know what, should I watch the football game or should I watch the Dodgers? And it seems like every time I start watching, a game, the team that I'm voting for loses. They start losing. It drives you crazy. So I started watching the Dodgers. They started losing. So I changed. I was done. I changed back to the Dodgers. They were tied. And then the other team scored a run anyways. And so and I changed again. I said, okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, Dodgers. I'll jinx you. Because, as a matter of fact, that happened with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, for those of you who know anything about football, Dallas Cowboys quarterback, out for the rest of the season. I was not watching that game at the time, so I'm not taking any responsibility for Dak losing, his season. So, to make a long story short, I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that my Dodgers actually won. They won, and they're in the World Series. So, congratulations, Dodgers. Said all of that to say this. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine podcast, where we highlight the people, the places, the trends to feed your mind, your body, and your spirit. We are live streaming on Facebook Live. We are also on YouTube. So if you like our page on Facebook Live, I really encourage you to go to Black Success Magazine and just like the page. Like the page. Tell everybody, hey, guess what? Love what this guy is doing over here on Black Success Magazine podcast. And go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We're getting subscribers all the time. Same thing with Instagram. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. And it's really all here just to share the good news that there are some great things happening with entrepreneurs all over the place. And you can check it out. We do our podcast every weekdays, so Monday through Friday, about 8:30, about 9 o'clock-ish or something like that, where we share about some of the great things that have happened locally and internationally. We're doing some great things, folks. I got to tell you, I'm very encouraged, even though you might see things going on in the world where people are going nuts. Entrepreneur-wise, Black business owners are just doing awesome things, and we are going to highlight that and talk about that on this show. Matter of fact, when we come back from the break, we're going to actually talk a little bit about a family that was really, they were trying to solve a problem in their family, and that solution to the problem actually became a business for them, which is, you can't ask for much more than that. And it's very near and dear to my heart because, oh man, my mustache is really cool on YouTube. Because my family was in that same business at one time. And so, you can't ask for much more than that. So when we come back, folks, what we'll do, excuse me, I had to get a sip of coffee there. When we come back, we're going to talk about a family that has a very sweet business. I'll just put it that way. They have a very sweet business that was really spawned out of necessity. So we'll come back in just a second, folks. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine podcast. We'll be back in just a second, folks. Well, hey, folks, good morning to you. So much to do here. Well, I hope you are up this morning and you've just gotten your day started. I have gotten my day started. A lot of cool things I'm working on, and got to tell you about. Interesting things we're going to talk about today on the show. Let's go and get back to it. All right, and that's J.R. Tundra. J.R. Tundra. I like that. Very cool stuff. Oh, sorry about that. It's kind of I've done that. Hey, folks, this is Sherman Rank, Black Success Magazine podcast. And that was J.R. Tundra for those of you who are listening during the break. So kind of do a little bluesy things. They call it funky, but it's really more of a blues. Kind of a 12-bar blues. We are, so if you're here with us Thursday, this Thursday, coming up Thursday, we're going to have a special guest in the studio. If you've been with us for just a little bit, I'm reading a book called Flow, okay, For the Love of, written by Marcus Johnson. Marcus Johnson is a jazz musician. He's a attorney. He's a producer. He does all kinds of stuff. The foreword by this book is written by Sheila Johnson. Many of you have heard of Sheila Johnson. And Sheila Johnson is the co-founder of BET. So Marcus's folks reached out to us and said, hey, we'd love to spread the love. And I said, man, you know what? I'm really excited about this. And I got more excited as I was reading the book. So very cool. So he will be actually on the show Thursday. So be with us on Thursday. Check it out. Marcus Johnson will be on the show. We'll talk about his book. We'll talk about some of the things that he's done. Very good book. If you have not gotten the book yet, go out and get the book. It's called Flow, F-L-O. And you can check this out. So let's talk about a really kind of a neat family. This family, this was actually out of an article out of Black Entertainment or Black Enterprise. And this family, what is their name? Oh gosh, I never give your names for anybody. So anyways, there was a family that lives in New Jersey, and they have two kids, and their kids suffer from asthma. And so the story goes, and I'm going to read a little bit of the story for you, but what they found out is that they were in and out of hospitals all the time with these kids. And the kids, they have asthma, they're hard of breathing, that kind of stuff. And they found out through trial and error that if they gave them bee honey, that it would actually, there's properties in bee honey. Many of you probably heard of this before, that really are very good for you, very beneficial for you as far as your allergies and stuff like that. My wife suffers from allergies. So, we were doing the same thing, giving her bee pollen and stuff like that. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article to you. It's like I said, it's out of Black Enterprise. According to the Agriculture Marketing Source Center, there are anywhere from 115,000 to 125,000 beekeepers in the United States with over 2 million colonies, providing 1.4 million pounds of raw honey for consumption. Like many industries, beekeeping isn't the most diverse. Okay, we know that. One family used the chance to create a business in honor of their children after learning about the health benefits of raw honey. And the reason why I bring this up is my grandpa was a beekeeper in Jamaica. So it's very something very close to me. Summer and Cam Johnson are the founders behind Zach and Zoe Sweet Bee Farm, a collection of raw honey made on their land in New Jersey and named after their children. The parents started beekeeping for health purposes, as we were saying, and because they were struggling with this. And they started out with a small bee colony, just for the kids, and then it grew. And then they started the next year. They just kind of added on to it, and that grew, and they added on to it, and that grew until now. You've got, they said they kept growing every year, increasing the number of hives on the property and learning more about beekeeping. This is really pretty cool because not only are they creating a business, a thriving business for themselves and their kids, but they are really just doing a great business, and they've learned a lot about it, the health benefits of this for the family. From there, the two started to produce honey for sale and created a company named after their kids. That they said that people enjoyed them more and more because they found out they were a black couple in the business. So very cool. I love this. The Johnsons. Let me read just a little bit more. The Johnsons said it was important to make their children a part of the business and to teach them the mechanics behind running a business, so one day they could pass the business down to them. More important than anything, pass it down to the kids, because your kids will be the next generation. This is going to be one of those things that you're going to see in a couple of years from now, and I think it's a wonderful tool to actually help your kids. Okay, let's take a break, folks. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We'll be back in just a minute. Oops. Oh, we're having problems. So at least, so we're having a little bit of problems with our music here for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe it'll play in just a second, I hope. I don't like that All right, let's get back to the show, folks. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, folks. We were in our last segment. We were talking a little bit about a family, the Johnson family, and how they created a business out of a necessity. And the necessity was really the kids were just having an issue with having asthma, and they were just in and out of hospitals all the time. So they created a bee, raw honey business that had dual purposes. It really helped their kids, and then they were able to make a business out of it. And now it actually has a trifold purpose in that the kids now are learning how to become business people as a result of this, which is great. I know in my family we did the exact same thing with our kids, where we were able to take our kids and show them how to be in business. And I'll tell you, my kids are all just rock stars. I mean, they're very solid in learning how to work, and especially my grandkids, because they worked in the shop with us, and they learned get to work. You might screw up in everything else you do in life, but they have they're very responsible in that. And that's a great thing to learn as a kid. It really is. Let's talk about another article. There's a guy named Bun uh, Badaway. I'm going to say Badaway. Okay. And he went. This guy has a very interesting kind of thing that happened to him. Another one of these great feel-good stories. Now, this guy went to jail not once, not twice, but a lot, and he started when he was very young. Uh, and this is and we can make excuses. We can talk about how bad the system is all you want. But the point in this whole article was this guy's resilience. I mean, it really was. Um, the guy, so Bun was in jail for 7 years. Excuse me, seven. He served 7 years. Um, no, he was incarcerated 7 times and served 11 years on probation. Oh my God, brother was, but he was able to channel this innate thing inside of him, and many people have this. I mean, they have this, and this is what I don't understand. There are people who go out and they'll hack computers, they'll steal from banks, they'll do all kinds of stuff. They'll be drug dealers, and it's pretty obvious these guys have a very um, analytical mind because they were able to plan this, they were planning that, they did this, they did that, they spent all this time creating these terrible viruses and stuff like that. It's pretty obvious these guys, if they went in the right direction, they would probably be pretty good at business. This guy was one of them. And Bun was, once he was able to just get solid in life and not go back to jail, not arrested for this, that, or the other thing. And it started for him a long time ago. When he was a kid, he couldn't go back to school because he got kicked out of school as a child for a guns charge, a weapons charge. So it was very tough for him to actually even go to work or to go to school. So he never even finished school. But get this. This is how determined this guy was. He ended up starting a luxury auto business. And what they did with these luxury autos is they actually used them for hip hop movies or hip hop videos. And he just rented them out, Lamborghinis, whatever. And he also has real estate holdings. What else does this guy do? I mean, he does all kinds of things. This guy was just prolific. He needs to write a book. He really does. I am just very proud of him in that even though the obstacles, whether they be self-inflicted or not, were in front of him, he was able to change his trajectory. I love that. I think that's a title for a book. Change his trajectory by changing his mindset. And he said, I'm not going to allow what is going on in my life right now to define who I will be in the future. I think that's that's a chapter in a book. So, Bun, thank you so much for doing that. I think you're just setting up the high bar for people all over the world. So, thank you so much for that. When we come back, folks, we're going to talk a little bit more about, some live streaming, a live streaming platform that you really probably should look at for your business. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine podcast. We'll be back in just a second. That's more like on my head. Oh my gosh. I got light coming in here. It's going right on my head. I know some of you folks can't see it, but there's light right on top of my head. Here, I'm going to change it. Okay. Oh, yeah. You can't have that. That's terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, folks. And we are back. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. I want to thank you folks for being a part of the show today. We're here with you Monday through Fridays from about 8:30 to about 9 o'clock or so. So thank you folks for being a part of the show. We love what we do here. We really do. It's kind of a fun thing to be able to talk to you about some of the great things that people are doing out in the out in the world. We get so much negative stuff all the time. And I know for me, it has changed me. And I'm a very positive person. I mean, it's not like I'm positive. I'm very positive. And almost annoying. Almost annoyingly so positive. And my outlook on life is just like, you know what? The sky's the limit. There's nothing you cannot do. I love that picture of of a cracked up sidewalk or, desert or something like that. And you see that one little plant that comes coming through. That's my outlook on life. It really is. Is that there is, when you think that there is no life, there's always something coming through. And you know what? So this world, and we need this. We need people talking about the great things in life that people are doing to get you going, to get you out of bed, to get you motivated. Because you know what? Um, if you're not going to do it, no one's going to do it. I mean, they just aren't. You've got to be the one. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, it's because you are that person. You're that guy. You're that woman who's just going to do what it takes to make a business run, to do what it takes to be successful in life. Um, let's talk about. There was an article I saw, and it's a live streaming app, which is really it's called Zap Life. It's ultimate live streaming platform, and this is pretty cool. I like this article. This guy's developed this platform for one reason, and it's really for DJs, hip hop, that kind of stuff. 2020 has marked social distancing and isolation. It's been a booming year in the digital sphere. People have been allotted more time, not only for online entertainment, but also for work ideas and a business execution right from the comfort of their own homes. And this new lifestyle doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon, which is probably why working professionals should get to know Zap Life. Very cool. I'm digging this. I'm digging it already. This is going to be a great article. Um, uh, so you might have seen Zap Life on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, but you can put your FaceTime and Zoom to use a lot more in recent months. Excuse me, it says you may have put your FaceTime and Zoom to use a lot more, but you have noticed that there are no live streams on your Discover page. Or why host, oh gosh, okay, enter black, oh, okay, this is cool. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of advertisement here in front of me. So, Zap Life, which will launch October 31st, offers amazing new features to the live streaming era that include your own cryptocurrency system, wow, which you can cash out, a Discover page to catch a sneak peek of streams and topics before entering the room, RSVP stream scheduling options and notifications, VIP rooms to connect with specific friends, and so much more. This is pretty cool. So nobody's thinking of this. I'm this guy. I'm the guy who really, and we're going to go a little long in this segment, so don't be upset here. We're going to go a little long. I am that guy who thinks that, and I saw a movie just a couple nights ago, and it was called The Island. And The Island was all about a group of people who believed that what they were doing is they were uh, feeding and that, excuse me, no, that the world had gone through a catastrophe and that they were the only ones left, and that during the lottery, they would get their chance to go out and go to the island, which was a farce. It didn't. So that's not really what I wanted to talk about. what I want to talk about was that the movie was written in 1980, I believe, or 2005. 2005 was when it was written and released. The setting for the movie was, guess when? 2019. Okay, 2019. They believed that what the modern day equivalent right now, and this is 2020 right now, they believe we would have flying cars, levitating trains, flying motorcycles, all kinds of neat things that we don't have now. Okay, the reason, and so this gets me back. So it gets me back to this thinking. There has to be something that happens in society that is going to push the society into the next level. Okay, there's got to be something that is going to change in society. Right now, we're living on fossil fuels. We're living on walking from here to there, that kind of stuff. Okay, the technology has not gone as fast and as far as what theorists said we were supposed to be. That movie Space Odyssey. That was hi Dave. That kind of thing. That was, I think that it was set that we were supposed to be there already. That was like 2002 or something like that. And this movie, The Island, says in 2019 we're supposed to have levitating this, we're supposed to blah, blah, blah. We're supposed to have flying cars, all that other stuff. Now, it's not that, your 57 Chevy is going to be gone. It's just that we as a society are supposed to be moving forward quicker. So in steps this concept called Zap Life, and they've said, guess what? When we've been stuck in the house, we're not going to allow that time to be wasted. We're going to do something. We're going to do something cool. And what they did is they were actually able to come up with these concepts utilizing the digital platforms we're all using right now. And this, I mean, I don't know about you. I've been on Zoom. I've been on FaceTime. I've been on Google Hangouts, Microsoft Teams. I've been on my phone, using all kinds of technology, digital technology, because I cannot get out in front of people. Actually, we actually had a Toastmasters, a hybrid Toastmasters meeting last week, where part of the people who attended it were actually using my phone, and they came in. They actually gave presentations on my phone. That was unheard of a couple of years ago. You actually had to be face to face. So Zap Life has done something that really is going to. I think you're going to see this ramped up in the future, more and more and more, where you're going to see people in the digital space come up with more cool stuff. Where we had Apple or iTunes, you're going to have even more of those kind of platforms. Where we had Facebook, you're going to have more of those platforms because people are going to say, well, wait a minute, Facebook's going to crash because you got too many people on it. Twitter, it's probably going to be less as important in the next, I would say, in the next year, because more people are going to come up with platforms that are going to rival it. It's already happened in the digital streaming sphere already. Tubi just came out. Tubi has been out for a couple of years now, but really they really ramped it up recently. So and we thought that Netflix was going to be all there was. Woo, Netflix! Oh no, they were the prototype of what people are going to be doing, not in the next years, literally in the next months. I can guarantee you, folks, you heard it here first, that people are going to come up with digital platforms, and you're going to see a lot of people who've been sitting at home going, well, you know what, I've watched as much Netflix as I can watch. I might as well use my IT and my programming degree for a reason. So I think it's cool. So go check out Zap Life. It's going to really be an add-on to the streaming platforms. I think it's. I'm digging it. Maybe I'm just a little too excited about it, but I think it's just very cool. So we'll be back, folks. This is Sherman Wright, Black Success Magazine podcast, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right. Man, where's this day gone? Amazing. What should we talk about? I've only got 5 minutes left. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go, Steve. So much here, folks. All right, let's get back to the show, folks. We're almost done. All right. Hope you enjoyed the music. All right, folks, and we are back. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine podcast. Really, we're almost out of time here, folks. I don't know where this day has gone to. I really don't. It seems like we just got started and things are already done. Went a little long in that last segment, which is fine. I mean, it's great stuff. There's a new program coming out called Zap Life, and I think I think it's just going to be showing you what is going to happen in the future. I really do. It's digital age is going to explode. People are starting to realize, man, I could really make some money with this stuff. So very cool. So if you like what you're hearing, folks, we really encourage you. If you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube, subscribe to our page, share our stuff with you. You can hear us on Spotify. This podcast, you can hear us on Spotify. Many of you are listening to us on Spotify today. We encourage you just to share it with your friends. We are looking to, we've got a book coming out. I've got a magazine coming out. Thursday on the show will be Marcus Johnson. Marcus will be, he's actually the author of the book called Flow. And so get to talk to him, which I'm very excited about. Got a lot of cool things going on. Let's end the show, folks, by talking about 10 principles that Steve Jobs gave on, and this is an Entrepreneur magazine, and they're 10 practical leadership lessons that he taught. And Steve Jobs was just a brilliant guy. There are a few unicorns left in the world. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, guys like that. Yours truly, I hope that you think that they're just brilliant people. And so we just so we want to take a page, just a page out of this book of life, and just share with you these 10 principles that he came up with on leadership and how to become just one of those stellar people. And I'm going to go through them very quickly because we're going to run out of time here, folks. One, focus. Focus. Eliminate distractions. Very tough in this world. After he was fired from his company. Steve returned, and one of the first decisions he made was not to cut projects and leave only the top 4. He said, "Let's do 4 things, and let's do them spectacularly well." Okay. Get rid of all the clutter. And sometimes we're just doing so many things that we're really missing what's most important. Just focus. Learn how to focus. Number 2, simplify everything. In today's world, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Optimize resources and value the essential. Leave the superfluous. Sorry, I can't say that. Simplify everything. Okay, you don't need to have all these things flopping around all the place. Just drill it down, folks. Take responsibility. Number 3, if you lead, You are responsible for the entire process. So much so, Apple always created products that, in general, are not directly compatible with other brands. He argued that it was the only way to take full responsibility for the process, flow, operation, and experience of each other. Now, the thing that pissed everybody else off was that Apple was not compatible with everybody else, and now everybody's building things around Apple products. Okay, they wanted to do it because they wanted to take responsibility for what they did, and that's why they did what they did. Number four, and it'll probably be the last one we'll be able to do. If you fall behind, take a leap forward. If you fall behind, take a leap forward. Mac computers didn't come with CD recorders, which its Windows competitor Microsoft did. Steve Jobs and the team, went ahead by creating iTunes, a multi-device storage system that changed the music industry. Okay, very important, folks, that if you fall behind, okay, you don't put in the CD recorder or something like that. That you create something that's going to leapfrog your competition. That's important. Folks, we're going to be back tomorrow. I know that you can check out this podcast on Spotify. We're on Instagram. Check us out, folks. We thank you so much for being a part of the show. This is Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And we'll see you again tomorrow, 8:30, here on Facebook Live, or you can check us out on YouTube. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. And thank you, folks, for being a part of the show. We will see you again tomorrow, starting at 8:30 on Black Success Magazine, the podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.